Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast.
Now,
it's on TV.
last week, it was Jamal Bryan. There was no Reeves. And this week, there's Jamal blank Reeves because Bryan sadly passed on coming on the show this week. Bryan, he left me a text message. He said he can't make it today.
Yeah.
I think he sent it to the group text message chain.
He did, but I don't check that.
Yeah, you never respond to that. He said, yo, I'm busy with some crazy niggas today.
Okay. And I mean, this is part of the reason why I don't check that group chat, because I don't like the language he in particular uses.
I immediately said, I don't think that's appropriate language for our group chat. I know we're friends. I know you feel like you have black tendencies, but that's not one of them you should adopt.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds that Bryan listens to this and just cuts all this out?
I mean, listens to this very high, cuts it all out very low.
Very low.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. This is the only official Top Chef podcast sanctioned by Tom Colicchio and Padma and Gail and Richard and Kwame and
Melissa
and the other bubble guests, judges on the show this season. We have another special guest, and this is a very special guest, and everyone should probably be able to tell who it is based on the voice. Once he starts talking, you're going to be like, I know this voice from somewhere. As soon as he starts talking, you're going to be like, wait a minute. I kind of feel like I just heard this voice. Because this week on the podcast, we have Jeff Ray. Say what's up, Jeff Ray.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't feel like my rap voice sounds the same as my speaking voice, so I feel like that intro could potentially be a little misleading. But I can try to rap talk any answers I give you today.
I would love for you to rap talk the entire time you're here.
It's very difficult.
I understand it's difficult, but you did volunteer that skill, so
yeah.
So I'm going to now hold you to it, and now our audience is also going to hold you to that. Thank you for being here. You are third mic. Normally, Bryan is third mic, but since Bryan is skipping out on the podcast, he's now fourth mic. And so it's me, Reeves, the classic duo, best friends. And now we've got our guest now, third mic. And so a lot of people who are listening are going to be saying to themselves, will this episode be better than when it was just Jamal and Bryan?
And the answer is probably not. Probably not. And it's not because of me.
No, it's not your fault.
No, it's not.
And
my
it's definitely
fault.
not the guest's fault.
Yeah, no.
It might be the host who started off on a very inappropriate bit. It might be that person's fault. Jeff, thanks for joining us. Jeff, if anyone who's listening can't tell because his speaking voice is different, he is the musician who was kind enough to do the intro song for us for the podcast. Jeff, what was the process like of doing that intro song?
I feel like creative people will definitely identify with that process. You definitely hit me up to do it. I thought it was a very tight opportunity. And it was different from stuff I'm usually asked to do.
Oh.
That said, I did nothing for about 3 months. And you would continuously text me, not continuously like in a bad way, but you would remind me and I'd be like, oh snap, I got to do that. And then I would just go back to doing, what my life is, which is watching Bigfoot shows on Discovery TV and arguing with my wife about conspiracies. And then the last time you hit me up, I was like, you know what? I have to make this happen because Jamal is a good guy. He's funny. And I want to help out. But for me, the process did take a little time. To be honest, let's be 100,000% honest with how this went.
Thank you.
The first 3 to 4 or 5 months that I didn't do it, it's because I just couldn't think of anything. I was just like, I don't know.
Okay.
And then when you hit me up, I was like, all right, well, like I either have to tell you no, or I just have to do it. And at that point, I got into my little tiny closet office studio, and I found, you'd already picked the beat out. So I was like, oh, this is good. So I just started kind of letting my mic record, and I would just say words about the podcast and try and be funny and think of jokes. And it, things would come out, and some would be bad and some would be good, but it was kind of like, oh, I found a thread here. And I'd start rhyming this word with that word. And once I actually turned on the microphone to do it, the process took 30 minutes. So I feel extra bad that I waited 5 months to do 30 minutes of work and send that out. But I think that it just took me, part of it is just working up to that energy. So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we thank you for sending those invoices for 5 months prior to completing the song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to get the deposit up front. So
we did have to pay you for 5 months, and we were sitting here, and Brian and Reeves were kind enough to remind me every few months, hey, what happened to that possible intro song? And I kept having to go, oh yeah, I need to ask Jeff again about that.
Yeah, we're like, where's the return on our investment, Jamal? Yeah. Jamal's like, you guys, I'm good for it, right? You're gonna get your return anytime now. Yeah.
And I woke up one day with a horse head in my bed, and I was like, okay, they're serious.
Yeah, and then he got the freaking message when we severed the head of his horse. Jeff, to get inspiration for your song, did you by any chance listen to our initial intro song that we had?
I did, and actually when Jamal reached out, I didn't directly decline, but I was like, yo, your intro song is already fire. Why do you need to change it?
Okay, thank you.
And
this is what I'm saying.
So. I feel like I'm serious. Like I liked it. I am very happy with the opportunity you guys gave me, and I was really happy with how it came out, but your first one was a banger already. So
I liked the first one, didn't love it. I love yours, Jeff. And that's what we were going for. We wanted a labor of love. Mm-hmm. We wanted a 5 month, get into the zone, really deliver something from the heart. Reeves did a great job. Again, I liked it. And there's nothing wrong with something being likable. I just love Jeff's version.
Yeah. Listen, first of all, thank you guys so much for saying you like my version. Always nice to meet some fans. Mm-hmm. But I will say that you guys are the only ones that told me that you liked it. A lot of what I've been hearing is the first version of the intro song sucks shit. Seemed like that dude just made it up on the spot and wasn't even good at making stuff up on the spot. Is he good at these things? Was he making a joke? It's all bad. The new one is good and professional. So it's nice to hear another side of that.
Well, it was sort of also made up on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just have different levels of
that's right
background with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, different experience levels. So that was just first time I'd ever done that. So
and I mean, Reeves, we didn't really give you a beat.
Mm-hmm. I had to make my own.
Jeff had a beat selection that he let us go through, and a whole it's almost like you just moved into a house, so it's like you got to do the paint samples. Like Jeff gave us a whole thing of paint samples that we got to pick first, and then the artist went to work. We didn't give you that.
And in my case, I forgot that was something that I promised people, and then was told in the middle of the podcast I needed to do it. And so in that moment, I said, I'm just whatever comes to my mind, I'm going to do. And I did it. And then I refused to do anything else after that.
Yeah. So, you kind of spent a lot of your creative currency doing that intro originally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I could do another one for another 50 years or something like that.
And I personally wouldn't ask you to.
No.
Especially since we have Jeff's. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So last week you weren't here. Mm-hmm. You weren't here for a very special reason. What was that reason again? Just wrong.
It was my freaking birthday.
Happy
And
birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much.
So walk us through what was so amazing about your birthday that you couldn't be here last week.
Well, here's the thing. Not a lot of my our listeners know this, but I'm a workaholic, okay? And this Pod Chef, people probably listen and think like, oh, what a fun thing that these guys are doing. They're just doing it for shits and giggles. It's whatever. I'm like, no, this is a fucking job for me.
It's work.
Okay,
It's
it's
work.
work. I'm putting in the hours. We get paid a lot to do this. So it's a job. And the thing is, I always promise myself and my family that on my birthday would be the one day a year that I would take off so I could spend time with my family. And so I promised my family I would do it, and I did it. And I was like, no work today. It was a Saturday. That's when we record. And so I took some
now
time.
You're peeking them behind the curtain.
Yeah,
Now
that's
a
when we
Saturday
record. In case anyone wants to come in and rush our record, interrupt it, feel free to. And listen, if people want to do that and give us criticism, I'm begging our listeners to give us criticism at this point. They refuse to leave reviews and write it there. So if they want to break in, don't break into our house. But if they do want to come during the record and softly knock on the door and then offer some criticism, I'll take it.
Yeah. Brian, leave all this in.
Yes, please.
Maybe you guys have to offer some incentives, like first person to leave a YouTube review gets a Pod Chef t-shirt, or
Okay.
like you'll do the first person to leave a 5-star review gets a voicemail message on their phone by Jamal as Denzel or something.
Okay, and now these ideas are now public domain, so we do not have to pay you for them, but we will use them, and these are good ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, if you could help us execute them, I don't think have anything YouTube related or a YouTube page.
Well, I am in the works on putting our stuff on YouTube.
Sweet.
So
That's
we can
probably a good idea.
try and monetize this bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to say real quick before we keep going with your story, Jeff, thank you so much. And this is why we need a better third mic. Who comes up with these ideas?
Yes.
Take that, Brian. Keep that in.
Yes. Yeah. So I went to a restaurant on my birthday. It's the first time I had been since. Oh, it just got very sexy in here.
I'm watching Smite in the background and it just turned on.
You say smut?
No, Smite. No.
That's what you call pornography, smut?
No,
Look
I
at
was
this
watching.
smut. Why am I watching this?
Oh no, I'm caught. No, I was watching a game called Smite in the background. There's a tournament happening right now. It was on Twitch TV, and it just randomly, if you're on mute for long enough, it will unmute itself. I don't know why it does that.
Okay, well,
So
fuck me,
Brian,
man.
take
I don't
that
want
out. That's 14-16. Brian, take that out. I know Brian's gonna leave that in. I know, Brian.
Guaranteed this is all staying in. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I went to a restaurant on my birthday. We went to Rose's Luxury. It was delightful. We went with some friends that we haven't seen in a while, who are Top Chef fans, and friends of ours. They don't listen to the podcast.
Nice.
So, but it was lovely. I had a great time.
What did you have? Well, wait, we can't talk about that. Can I ask?
No.
Is this like if there was no pandemic last year, would this have also been where is this a tradition? You always go out to like a nice restaurant for dinner?
We do for people's birthday. We'll go somewhere fun. Last year it was going to be, what was it? We had to cancel it. It was like the Little Inn or something like that.
Oh, the Inn at Little Washington or whatever, that place.
Yes,
that's still wrong, but we know what we're talking about.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
we're all there. And again, this is Third Mic Jeff, who's just supposed to be the guest, but adding so much to the show.
Knows restaurants,
knows food, knows creative processes.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, you had a little birthday and you had a little dinner with people out in the world, and you couldn't come to the recording. That's okay. I'll allow it.
And then I promised to either call in or send you guys pictures during the record. I did not call in, and I sent the pictures late.
Yes,
because I forgot.
Yes, so your level of commitment is, even when you're not here, is the same as when you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've grown to like the most.
Yes.
So I feel like, get right into it. Let's get into chefs I prepared for you. Jeff, this is a segment we do where we go around and discuss what we had for dinner last night, and we present it as if we were presenting it to the top chef judges. I'll go first. Chefs I've prepared for you: a sous vide rosemary and garlic ribeye steak, mashed sweet potatoes spiced with cinnamon, allspice, and pumpkin spice, and garlic sauteed spinach.
Okay. Did
Lot
you
of
just put the garlic on top of? I'm looking at the picture here.
You're looking at the picture, so the garlic is on top in the last part of the picture. That was just to get even more garlic juices on the steak, but it was basted
I see.
in garlic and butter.
Do you? Here's a question for both of you.
Here we
Do you
go. He's
guys
gonna ask if I
like?
eat garlic raw?
That's kind of what I was getting at. Do you guys like garlic so much that you would eat it almost raw or like semi cooked in some way?
I have had garlic raw, but I prefer it cooked because it is very soft,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's not that crazy to eat like. Why is it weird to eat a clove, but you dice it up and put it in something, you're eating it the same way? It's still the same thing.
I don't think it's weird to eat a clove.
Oh, okay. I thought people might think it's weird to eat a whole clove.
I think it's weird to eat garlic raw.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well,
Like, yeah,
I do that.
no.
So you do
Like-
that now? Do you do that for a reason, or?
Okay. Well, I don't do it because I like to. I do it because I have to. If that kind of makes more sense.
Oh yeah, I mean if that does make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I'm picking up what you're throwing down too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go into more explanation, feel free.
I've got a vampire problem in my neighborhood,
Okay.
so I have to constantly be eating garlic all the time to,
Yeah,
so I don't have any problems.
yeah.
Because
you gotta walk your dog.
Yeah, and then this is where it happens. Well, actually, not so much there as much as like when I'm in my basement, I sometimes hear noises and I get
Mhm.
very, very scared, and so I'm like, well, it could be just house noises, it could be insects, or it could be vampire. So I'm trying to like weigh everything up and remove all of the options. So I do have a couple of insect traps down there, and I'm also eating heads of garlic almost
Mm.
daily.
And you also have like a rosary of garlic that you keep in your hand, right? And
Drying out.
you push like one garlic at a time as you're saying prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The garlic
You're not-
rosary.
You're not worried about like ghosts? Like I feel like it's a stress to go from insects straight to vampires. Like there's clearly probably ghosts in your basement.
Okay, well,
So you
know what?
might the garlic might not be necessary.
Ugh, I didn't even consider. Do you think I need some? I probably need to get someone to come in and bust some ghosts, right?
Maybe, but what I was initially was thinking when you talked about the garlic for the vampires was for me it was I was wondering if this was like I don't know if anyone else says this, but I feel like when people are like, oh, if I had to go to jail, I wouldn't wipe my butt, and that way like I wouldn't get assaulted. So like maybe is this the non-jail equivalent of protecting yourself from from vampires?
Well, I didn't know about that wipe the butt thing for jail thing, but
I don't know
I
if-
know that now. That's a
I
good
don't know.
Glad I do too.
Yeah, well, I guess
Well-
that's why I'm not going to do it now.
I don't know like if that's like a widely known thing, and I don't really know where I heard it, so it could be fake news. But I feel like in the many uninformed conversations I've had about prison life, that seems to be the recurring plan of all these people I talk to who are like, if I were in jail, I would just not wipe my butt.
I've heard stories of people who've been in jail. I've watched documentaries, and they have mentioned that some people can't handle the stress of jail so much that they don't shower at all as a way to keep everyone away from them. And sometimes it misfires because sometimes you get beat up because you stink so bad. But then other times people are like, get this guy out of here. He refuses to shower. So
Yeah, that's a tough coin to flip.
yeah.
But even so, I still think that cooked garlic would still have the same potency against vampires.
Now, here's my question. Can you put garlic on your butt to get vampires away from you?
I mean, they wouldn't be trying to they wouldn't toss your salad as easily. But
That's true.
That's true. I mean, listen. I think the garlic necklace is probably where I need to go with it, and always need to wear that.
You need a Cuban link garlic necklace.
And I honestly had never even considered this ghost possibility, but I'm now 100% convinced that it's just my house is haunted.
You need like a puka shell garlic necklace.
Mm-hmm. I think I had one of those garlic in high school.
It's just sliced garlic.
Yeah,
that's strung together.
Believe it or not, I was one of those guys that wore stuff like that. So
I believe it.
Yeah,
I think Brian did too.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he had earrings. Yeah. All right. Well, I had garlic on there. I ate it with some bites of the steak and the rest of my meal. It was my big Friday night meal where I don't eat anything for the most of the day, and I just eat one big meal for the day. It's very filling, so that's what I had. All right, delicious. Reeves, what do you got?
We went over to some friend's house the other night and had Roscoe's Pizza, which I'd never had before, and I had a prosciutto and arugula pizza pie.
Wait a minute. Now I want to get to this pie, but tell us what you had for your birthday.
So I'm not going to go through it. Listen, it was an 8-course meal. It was very nice. We went to Rose's Luxury. It's what a wonderful joy of a place to go eat. But I can remember a couple of things. That the first dish was they had homemade ice cream. I think one was like a coconut thing, and one like tasted like a tortilla. It was like tortilla ice cream. It was really cool. But you had caviar that you put on top of it, kind of like to act like the salt that people put on top of ice cream a lot. It's fantastic. And then there was a bunch of other stuff. We had like deep fried fish. There was like a whole chicken. Oh man, lots of dishes. There was a tofu dish. Lots of good stuff.
Did any of that stuff have capers on it?
No, it didn't. And I did listen to the episode. So I do know what you're referencing. I oftentimes, when I was listening to the episode, would talk out loud with things that I would have interjected in the moment, like things like, no, I don't like capers. Or something like that, but I do know you guys really thought that I would be into capers. And it's funny, when she brought that up, Blue Apron does give you that a lot. It's like, I think it's like they view it as like, oh, this is like a fun substitute for salt or something like that. But it tastes a little too seafoody. I don't like the taste or the texture, really. So,
I love capers.
Oh yeah, a lot of people like them.
Yeah.
And see, again, Third Mike Jeff is bringing something to the show. Positivity. He likes capers. I like that. Okay, so you had a prosciutto and arugula pizza?
That's right. That's it.
Okay. I've got beef with you now.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of vegetables on pizza. Outside of tomato sauce.
So that's what I was going to
Still a fruit, which is still a fruit, technically.
Yes, I learned that on the Michelle Obama thing on Netflix.
So
it's a fruit. There's a whole episode
I've
about
got
that.
beef with you now.
You guys had Michelle Obama on here? Shit.
We had Michelle on here. Barack couldn't make it, so she was our number 2.
Yeah. She filled in and taught us all about tomatoes.
Yeah.
She was promoting her show. You don't like any vegetables on your pizza?
I mean, if I'm getting a pizza, I've already made the choice to get an unhealthy meal. Why am I trying to make this healthy now? If that's the case, I might as well just have like a vegetable on the side, cook a protein, and cook I might as well just make a dinner if I want to do that. That's my personal prejudice, though.
That's what you're working through.
Yeah.
I get that sentiment. I mean, like, listen, I like Domino's pizza. I like a straight up sausage pizza or whatever. Pepperoni.
Okay, now I've got more beef with you.
Oh no, do you not like sausage pizzas?
I'm not a fan of Domino's.
Whoa.
Oh, Domino's is fine. Sausage pizza, no.
What?
I'm not a fan of sausage pizza either, but Domino's to me is like I'm a Pizza Hut boy.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah. Stuffed crust for life.
I'm stuffed crust pepperoni boy for life. But Domino's, I'm still waiting for them to do what Papa John's did, which is copy Pizza Hut and make a stuffed crust that's not as good.
Oh, that's what you want them to do? That Papa
Yeah,
John's
just so
did?
that they can all stop pretending like they don't copy each other.
Mhm.
And but Domino's to me is the bottom tier. I used to hate it when they got free advertising in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, and I was like, why would the turtles be eating this? They could get any pizza in New York, and they're eating
They
Domino's
are
pizza.
rolling in dough from the vigilante lifestyle.
They're
They can get
literally-
any pizza they want.
But you're in New York. You can
Yeah.
get so much better pizza. Why are you getting Domino's delivered?
I mean, they live in a sewer,
Yeah.
so
Doesn't mean they can't have class.
It's a very nice old train car that they live in
Yeah.
with a grown rat. So I
Yeah.
think that they're a little classy.
They're a little classy. I mean,
They bring ladies over sometimes.
they don't disturb the cobwebs. Like
Mhm.
it's a whole thing. They did do the electrical down there, so it's
It
like.
is nice. It looks
do you think
like
they're
it.
good tippers?
Well, if you
That's a
watched
good question.
Secret of the Ooze, you'll see that Michelangelo says keep the tip, or he says no tip. You were 33 minutes late.
That's right. I think it's in the first one, right? That he was like, "You're."
Oh
late.
yeah, I'm sorry. It's the
on
first
me."
one. That's Secret of the
Yeah.
Ooze. He
Yeah.
does. He puts the pizza in there and he says, "What? No tip?" And goes, uh, 30 minutes or less, dude.
Yeah. And this is part of the secret to staying rich is you
This
don't-
is also what I
don't-
say to pizza delivery people when they come to my house and they say, no tip. And I said, 30 minutes or less, dude.
and then they're like, "Well, that's not a thing for
Yeah.
our pizza company. There's no deal there."
And I go, well, I'm basing this off of, a worldwide pizza chain's motto. And if you can't meet that, how do you expect to compete in this world, man?
And this conversation is all had just through like the crack of your window, right?
Yeah, and I'm eating the
pizza.
pizza as I'm talking to them. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't get a tip for this. You were 15 minutes over. You
Yeah.
don't get a tip.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I have beef with you, but I'll get over that beef. So was the pizza good?
It was good. Really delicious. There were some other pizzas too. We had, which I don't remember. There was other veggie pizzas.
Oh my God. I've
But
got
which
beef
I
with
know
them
would
now.
make you angry, and I
I've
was
got
considering
beef
not
with them
bringing it up. But yes, no, I did like it. Listen, prosciutto on anything, I'm on board for.
All right. Jeff, what'd you have?
For dinner last night, I had
You gotta
sushi.
you gotta do chefs I prepared for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. And am I telling the truth or am I lying?
Oh, we'd love the truth because
I
we
like
all
the
just
truth.
told the truth.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so chefs, for the meal tonight, I've prepared for you a
This is perfect.
sushi roll with shrimp tempura on the inside and salmon and avocado on the outside, accompanied by a side of fried calamari. Also, under a bed of iceberg lettuce, carrots, and tomatoes,
Holy crap.
seasoned with homemade Benihana's mustard sauce and ginger sauce, drenched all by sauces. So, enjoy.
Wow.
Wow.
That sounds
That's,
like a feast.
That's what we call effort.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good specifics.
I'm pretty sure Brian's listening back to this in the editing, and he's like, "That's too much work." But I think something like that, where you put your heart and soul into it, I bet it tastes amazing.
Yeah, I mean, whoever cooked it fucking killed it, you know?
Who knows who that was, though?
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but that sounds so good.
Yeah.
I was the judge.
Yeah,
last
you were
night.
the judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they presented it to you, and then you
Yeah.
presented it to us.
Yeah.
That sounds like an amazing meal. Did it? Now, I'm not a huge sushi connoisseur, but I've had the bare bones of sushi before. Does sushi fill you up? Do you have to how much sushi until you're like, I'm kind of full?
It depends. If I want to eat sushi properly, as I feel I did last night, I ordered one roll with a salad and a side, and yeah, I felt good afterwards. If I want to eat sushi like uh, the stoned American that I can be on some nights, I will order 4 to 5 rolls, eat,
Wow.
40 pieces of sushi, and
Nice.
lie on the floor
Okay.
for 2 hours until it's time to drop a massive load.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
Okay.
the rice is what eventually will fill me up. But I had the same situation where it's like at first I start out very, very fast with sushi and I'm like just eating a ton, and then at a certain point I hit like wall and I'm like, I've had so much rice. And I just feel way overly full.
yeah,
Because what's happening is what I've heard is that rice will expand in your belly.
yeah.
Mm,
And that's why you don't throw rice at a wedding, Reeves. Which we tried to tell you at your wedding, but you're like,
it's like,
you're a rice king.
Yeah. I please throw me as much rice as you can. I provided rice bags
Yeah.
for people, and people were like, we're not going to use this.
The next day, we went back to the hotel where Reeves had his wedding, and there was just a bunch of birds with beer bellies.
Mm-hmm. They ate all the rice.
They couldn't even fly.
Oh.
They couldn't fly. They just had rice in their stomachs walking around. They weren't pigeons either. They look like pigeons now, though.
Yeah. They got big pigeon bellies. Which pigeons don't like it when you say that. By the way, in case you were wondering. I got a pigeon problem around here, in case you're wondering. Which is real. We were talking about what's real, what's wrong. What I did, that vampire thing, not real. I don't have a vampire problem. I have a pigeon problem. Okay.
Yeah, he's got a pigeon
And
problem.
probably a ghost.
Yeah, well, the ghost
Yeah.
thing, yeah. And
Well, the
maybe-
ghost you can't see, but the ghost is a problem. The ghosts have, ideas of their own.
Well,
Kind
most
of.
likely you could just, if it's making noise, your first goal or test is to just tell it to shut up.
Yeah.
If it shuts up, you're good to go. If it doesn't, you should probably move.
Okay.
Here's what I do. When I hear a house sound that I don't know, I say, "Who's there?
Mm,
Who is that?" And then if no one answers and I hear it again, I say, "Who's there? Show yourself."
mm-hmm. Does that ever work?
No one really responds back. But then if I hear the shower turn on, I'm like, okay, you're clearly doing something now. And that's not me. So someone's there. If you could not do the shower because you don't pay in the utilities here. So that's actually kind of messed up. And then the shower turns off.
Mm,
And then I remember, holy shit, this is an Airbnb.
okay. So, yeah, so this is just...
And I don't know that person.
Okay, and here I thought you might have a ghost roommate, like a shitty roommate who is a ghost, but you're just in an Airbnb.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
should've-
know. Maybe it's a ghost in the Airbnb too. I
Yeah.
don't know. A lot of these Airbnb. That's probably why they're renting it out, right?
Well,
'Cause they're
they were
haunted.
ghosting me because they weren't answering.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's where ghosting originated. Yeah. Do you think that's the reason people Airbnb out their houses because they're haunted?
I think so. They want to get away.
Yeah.
And they want someone else to just come in and deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people will, will pick an Airbnb sight unseen, kind of like they have blind ambitions. We'll be right back after this break.
Perfect.
Welcome back, season 18, episode 11, Blind Ambitions. We're back. Let's talk about this. Jeff, have you ever seen Top Chef before?
I have. I love it.
You loved? Oh my God! What?
Wow.
You love Top Chef? You're the first guest who's ever loved Top Chef
Yeah.
we've had
Or
on the
seen
show.
it before.
Yeah, or seen it ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Top Chef regular, and I told you I think before I guested on the show, I was like, oh, I've only seen like the last couple of seasons, and then this season when that Kristen she has the shaved head, she's one of the special guests, and they
Yeah.
said what season she was the winner of. I realized I've been watching the show for like 10 years.
Yeah. I was like, that one was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
I'm
season.
not quite an OG, but I'm like almost there. So
I mean, you're basically there. If you've been watching for a decade, you're in the mix.
Yeah.
So you're going to get all the references and already making it better as a third mic. So what did you think of this episode?
I think it was all right. I do enjoy that we're getting closer to the end, but I was a bit surprised. I thought there were still like 8 people left. So I think the theme you'll find with me on the show is that I've been watching it for 10 years. I don't retain well. So I'm still learning people's names. Show's almost over, but I'm getting there.
Well, I'll be honest. I would know their names if I didn't have a fantasy team. I would know their names.
And
well,
I host a podcast and have done an entire season of Top Chef where I said someone's name wrong the entire time and knew I was saying it wrong and could not correct it. So I get it. I'm not good with names.
I feel like the episode for me was good, but the whole episode, I was telling my wife, I was like, they're not going to kick someone off this episode. And she's like, why? I'm like, how are you going to give these dudes a care package from their family and then be like, oh, but now you got to cook something with it? And then if what you cook is whack, get the fuck out of here. Like,
go back to your family with your ingredients.
with your ingredients and your failure, you know?
Yeah.
Like Gordon Ramsay doesn't even do that. Like he makes them do that. And then at the end when he's about to cut someone, he's like, I'm not going to cut you. That'd be an asshole thing to do. This was the bye week for everybody. Yeah. So I was waiting for the bye week, and then they sent that lady home, and I was like, oh, shit, all right.
Yeah, Tom Colicchio is a different monster.
He's a beast.
Ruthless. Yeah, because she has to go home now and be like, hey, I went out. And they're like, what did you go out on? And it's like, well, the one where you guys tried to help me.
The one where you brought me Brussels sprouts for whatever reason. Or whatever. What did she get? Bean sprouts.
Bean sprouts, I think it was.
Thanks for sending that to me.
Oh, yeah. See? Yeah. I thought the other lady went home. I'm already forgetting stuff.
Well, it was confusing at the end. It was actually going home and stuff really like that.
Was. Yeah. Let's talk about this quick fire challenge and let's let Padma explain it.
5. Each team will be assigned a prep and hotline station. Just like a relay race, one team member will wait outside of the kitchen while the other team member enters the black box. The first chef will have 15 minutes and one turn in the box to taste, smell, touch the dish you're recreating, and come out here and get started. When your time is up, you'll stand by in the kitchen, unable to communicate with your partner, while they have their 15 minutes to pick up where you left off. In the final 5 minutes, both you and your teammate can run inside the box. Oh, a whole 5 minutes. With the lights on to fix any mistakes. All the while, the chef who created the dish will be watching. Oh, shoot. From another room. Hi.
Wow. What an easy to follow, clear and concise premise that we all can get on board with and understand and remember throughout the whole challenge.
So this feels like they got together and said, we're out of advertisements. We have no more ads to run in a quickfire. We actually need to come up with a quickfire. And someone said, well, Top Chef France does a thing with a black box. Why don't we do that?
Can you imagine how pissed off Tom was when he found out there was a Top Chef France?
Oh, he
was like, what? Top Chef, what are you talking about? He's like, no, it's only here. It's only here. And people are like, no, it's like everywhere. And he was like, oh, God.
He's like, and in France, that's where food goes to live.
Yeah.
They're doing a Top Chef?
Yeah. I do think you're right. I think they ran out of ideas, and instead of that, they all came up with separately 5 or 6 ideas and said, let's just throw them all together.
Let's just throw them all together.
Hat in a hat, who cares? Let's just do it all together.
Let's have them be sequestered. What if we have them like break them up into teams, then half of them aren't there. They got to cook it blindly. Then the other half has come in and finish the cook. And then what if they have to taste something blindfolded as well? And like maybe the lights are off. Like they put all their ideas into one quickfire challenge. It feels like. And they also had to bring back Brooke Williamson, who's not even on the show.
I feel like the producers watched Tenet. And then we're like, yo, what if we did that but for food?
Which is why they were running backwards into the black box at some point during the quickfire challenge.
Yeah. I was also surprised to see Brooke on there because I hadn't seen her on any of the previous episodes this season.
Yeah.
She just brought back just for this quickfire.
It was almost as if they were like, "Oh, well, there'll definitely be someone from Last Chance Kitchen that'll come in," and then that didn't work out. So they're like, "Oh, we got to get Brooke in here," and then also make her say this was the most difficult quickfire she's ever done, and that she was questioning her life decisions, which doesn't really make sense with someone who isn't actively competing in the show.
Yeah.
But that's how difficult it was. She's like, Dale gets to come here and fucking smell food and eat it all day, and I got to do this bullshit. Like, come on.
Dale's licking plates in the back, and I've got to cook blind, basically.
Dale's here demanding seconds of ice cream, and I gotta come eat something in the pitch black, like I'm in the woods. I think they couldn't get anyone from the Last Chance Kitchen because I think they're all pissed off because technically the show is not at the finale, and they stopped doing Last Chance Kitchen.
Yeah, Last Kiss. It doesn't seem like it makes much sense this season. I've watched a few episodes, and I'm thoroughly confused at what is happening there.
The whole thing is supposed to be you win that until the last episode, and then you come back, and they've cut it off, and they're not even at the final 3 right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they doing another? Because they said it's the finale. So if they do like another, like, all right, this is the true finale of Last Chance Kitchen. Well, it's like, well, what was the point of having everyone compete then? You're supposed to be competing every week that the show's still running. I don't know. I didn't understand it. It's not like they had somewhere to go. They're all in a bubble. They could have kept cooking.
Yeah.
They needed, I'm sure it had something to do with BMW ad money.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Tom did do that Last Chance Kitchen where he did the Top Chef and he stole our idea. I mean, Top Gear and stole our idea and was driving around at BMW. So they probably, our lawyers reached out after that and we put an end to that. So we ended Last Chance Kitchen, and now that cat's out of the bag. So,
can I jump in for 1 second and do a quick time travel to the first episode of the season?
Let me buckle up. Hold on.
And
I
just want to ask. I just want to ask because I watched it, and this episode. I didn't listen to that one from your podcast, so if I'm treading into territory you've already, swam in, I apologize. But did you guys talk about Richard's hair in that first episode?
I think we did mention it
because I wasn't. I was like, "Is this a joke? Like, what is happening?"
That's a good question. I think that's exactly what Padma said to him first was, is this a joke, when she looked at him? And it was a reaction to both his hair and the fact that he was just there. And it was like, it was not a joke. His hair is not a joke. His hair is not changing, and he is not leaving. He is in every episode. And I think it is, I don't know if it was here or if I was talking with someone else outside of the podcast, but I think they are transitioning to have him possibly come on and be a host on the show, which is very sad if that's the case.
He seems like he would love it.
Oh, he would love it.
Definitely.
But I don't know if the audience would love it.
Yeah, he's got to do a little bit of work.
I do want to say that his hair was huge, and I know Padma pointed it out and made jokes about it, but I do actually think he was pulled aside and said, look, this is not your show. You're not the star. Your hair cannot be distracting, because every episode since then, normal hair. He hasn't even attempted to have crazy kooky hair again.
Like, if I was a contestant, I would have been like, I can't even cook. I don't know what's going on with this. This has to be explained before I open my knives.
He had a pompadour, basically.
Yeah, it was literally 7 to 8 inches tall. He was a white Kid or Play from Kid and Play, really whichever one had the flat top.
He really was. And if no one is believing what we're saying, just go to BravoTV.com, put in your TV provider information, and go back to the first episode. And just wait until you see Richard Blaze's hair. And then you'll be like, oh my God, this actually happened. Yes, it did.
And part of his whole deal is, in previous seasons, he does have wacky hair, and he's come back a lot, and that's kind of his deal. But it definitely was, the first episode, it was comically out of control and was not addressed in a way that, we kind of know him now, where he's such a cheese goofball that he would address it if it was on purpose. It was definitely not on purpose, and he definitely was told that needs to go down more because he looked really wild.
he walked in there thinking that he had sauce.
And
I hope that whoever told him that he did not mince words.
They just
grabbed him by the wrist.
I'm pretty sure he got that wrist grab off camera, and as they were doing a wrap for the day, and they said, don't do that again with your hair.
I would.
Don't do it again.
I would prefer a collar grab. Like that's how serious that was for me. Like, don't grab my wrist. Like, grab my neck.
And like really push you up against the wall and say, if you ever show up with hair like that again.
Yeah, they're getting money from BMW. They don't have time for this bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
you're messing up our big time sponsor.
yeah,
If people want to see a spoiler, they'll see it on a M series, okay? Not you.
yeah, yes. But that's all I wanted to ask. So I apologize for derailing. But yes,
No, this was a joy of a derail, and now I'm going to unbuckle because we're back out
Yeah,
of the
I
time
can take my
machine.
helmet off now, and it's good because we're at the end of the quick fire, which wasn't really interesting other
Yeah.
than the fact that it was complicated.
It really wasn't.
yeah.
I do want to mention, I can't believe Dawn literally guessed all the ingredients.
Yeah,
Just from tasting the food in the dark. That was insane to me. She literally, like, it just went ding, ding, ding. She guessed every ingredient while other people were, like, struggling. Dawn wins the third straight quickfire challenge, which would mean something if she had immunity, but immunity stopped far too early in this show this season.
yeah.
But she has won 3 quickfire challenges in a row. And as they transition to the elimination challenge, Jamie says a joke that crushes. Let's hear it.
All right, chefs, you guys are officially entering the home stretch now. You guys have to be exhausted, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, the Top Chef journey isn't for the faint of heart.
No, it's not. It is not.
Tonight, pack your knives and get ready for a night that you've all been waiting for.
We're going to the bar?
And I couldn't have said it better myself, because that's some writer's room stuff right there.
Yes, there.
That was a killer joke.
She crushes. Everyone is going nuts. People are like knocking food off the table. They're laughing so hard. Like
Tom took his shirt off.
Tom was right. He was doing one of those things where he was just kind of like slowly jogging around the whole kitchen.
Yeah.
He was so excited about it. She was doing like the rounds, high fiving everyone.
Yeah.
The crew got in there. People were shaking their heads, laughing so hard. And I think like a lot of it was, I think they filmed this during kind of peak COVID. So-
Everything was shut down.
Yeah. The thought of going to a bar was so outrageous to them because of the times that it was such a relief for everyone to be able to joke about something like that everyone just felt great. Good joke.
It was, I mean, killer stuff. I would try and writer's room that, but you can't fix funny. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
So let's talk about this elimination challenge. For the chefs received care packages from their families, each containing 10 ingredients. Then they're asked to create dishes using their gifted ingredients. While the contestants were not required to use every ingredient in their care packages, they were encouraged to utilize as many as possible. They also got those notes as well in their care packages and from their families. And this felt like they were just doing like let's go around and see whose note could make who cry the most.
Yeah.
And I love that Shota's note is just, we'll just listen.
It is great to know you are still in the competition. We are very proud of you. While we miss you and your food, we are having a great time with your dog, Dodger.
Mine's really short and simple. I have Asian parents, so.
And then so Jamie and Shota are both Asian, and they're both crushing this episode with jokes.
Being very
And now
funny.
they're being very funny. They're taking all the they're being the nice comic relief. It's a very heavy episode. People are crying. People are missing their families. And Jamie and Shota are right there, like, we know how to lift your spirits. We got you. Don't worry.
Yeah. And I
feel like
think it was really important for Shota to have that moment of comedy, because to that point all we had seen was just these very emotional letters that people had gotten from their kids. People were crying. They'd been away from their family for a long time. It's a very hard time. But what they cut out was right before Shota, they opened a letter from Tom that was to everyone that just said, I'm watching you, don't fuck this up. And then on the back it said, LOL, JK, 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 love Tommy B, which doesn't make sense.
And he put at the bottom, PS, have you been listening to Pod Chef?
Yeah. And it just really fell flat. People were confused and kind of upset by it just like tonally threw everyone off.
Dawn started crying again.
Yeah. She's like, I already know he's watching me. He's always
I already
at
know
judge's
you're
table.
watching. You're always watching.
Yeah.
It's too much. And then Tom came out and said, "I was just joking with that note."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came out.
And then he
behind
handed
the
a
sheet.
real note. He handed them all a real note, and it said, "No matter what I said, I'm not joking. That note that I wrote you is real. I am watching you, so don't fuck this up."
Yeah,
And
like,
then he just smiled and backed away.
yeah, he was like laughing. It was like one of those things where it's like he expected everyone else to be laughing, and he kind of like
Yeah,
smiled
no
and
one
backed
was
away,
laughing.
and then came back in, kind of looking around to see if people were laughing, and people were kind of like just looking at him like, "What's your problem?" He was like, "It's a joke. I mean, like it's a joke. You guys need to lighten up. I'm being very funny right now, and I'm actually a really fun guy. I'm very funny. My friends think this is very funny what I'm doing. So." You guys are the problem. It's not me.
You guys are the problem.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm actually being funny. You guys not laughing doesn't mean I'm not funny. It just means you guys have a problem.
What did you think of this elimination challenge, Jeff?
Well, like I said earlier, I thought it was going to be kind of like a softball, where it's just like you don't have to go home even if your food sucked because it's your family. But I thought it was a good challenge. I thought it was funny to see what the people sent to their family members who were on the show. I thought Shota's letter was funny from his parents because I know that if I were on the show, my parents would have been like, "We're very proud of you," and then it just would have been Bible verses for me to look up. So they wouldn't have Padman then would have been like, "Why this letter is just Bible verses? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this."
Psalms 37:6. Huh?
Yeah, but aside from that, I think the only thing that really sticks out, and I don't know if this is me with the problem or them, but I feel like there's just too much crying on these shows. These people are such emotionally weak. like it's just, why does everything trigger tears? Like it's like I haven't seen my family. It's like, dog, it's been 3 weeks. Like I traveled too. Come on, man. Like Dawn, the only person I'll give her more, leeway to cry because her story about her mom was like legit. But the rest of them was like, I haven't seen my family. So you got on a plane and flew somewhere. Like you're gonna see them possibly in a few days.
Also,
Like,
they've been FaceTiming the entire time,
yeah, like
so they have
so
seen them.
I feel like it's just a trope that has to be shoved into every kind of reality show. But for this one, I'm like, come on, man, you guys are cooking good food. Like, what are we crying about? So,
And so now that Jeff has kind of ripped the Band-Aid off, I'll say it as well. These people on the show were emotionally weak. I don't know why. I don't know why they're crying so much either. I'm pretty sure most of them wanted a break from their families. Didn't want to have to be home during the pandemic and just stuck with them 24/7.
I think I'll go the other way and say I don't necessarily think it makes them weak. I think this is maybe just a difficult situation. A lot of these people maybe haven't been away from their families a lot recently or anything like that, and there's a lot of pressure with the show. I also do wonder if, because the first person cried, there was pressure on all the other people that preceded that first person that read their letter to feel like they had to cry.
I'm sure
They are doing improv exercises in their downtime. So I'm pretty sure they're like, okay, well, if that person cries, I got to one up it. I got to heighten this.
Yeah.
And there's producers off camera making like the slit throat,
Yeah.
like motion
Tom,
to like they give notes. We know how reality TV works, so it's like
Yeah.
we need them to cry. It's like we're gonna kill someone in your family if you don't start shedding tears. So
And then Dawn like heightened to like the highest, and then they looked at Shota and said, "Okay, bring us back up. Bring us back
rest
up.
it.
Let's rest this. Don't do something tearful." And he killed, and then it went back to someone trying to do a tearful message.
yeah.
So if you're listening to this, you can either be in me and Jeff's camp that these people are emotionally weak, or you can be in Reeves' camp where these people aren't emotionally weak and they actually it's tough for them to be away from their families. It's fine to be in either camp. Either camp's fine, and you can choose that. We don't need your letters. Please don't write me letters again.
I think what would have made for better TV was to see the tears based on each person opening their boxes and seeing what they had to cook with.
Exactly.
Because then it's like, oh, and then it's you open it, you see the care package for your family, and you know that they've let you down again.
I do like that Jamie was very much like, chicken wings, I'm not using that. No way I'm going to use that.
I would have loved to open a care package and like it's just ingredients to make my baked macaroni and cheese that my mom sent me. I'd be like, I'm
Yeah.
using all this, but I'm not using these bean sprouts.
Yeah, like my parents, what they would send is something to be like, oh, we don't actually know each other at all.
Yeah.
So that's what would have made for better TV for me. So Tom, we can talk. Maybe I can come on as a producer sometime.
Oh, we can make that happen. We can
Yeah.
make that happen. Tom is looking for new producers for the next
I
season.
mean, I could do their music if they need it
Oh,
for season 23.
Okay.
That's when it would be ready by.
yeah.
It's gonna take a minute,
What's a creative process?
but the check has to come first.
That needs to start now. You need to,
Yeah.
because you got to get paid for your time. You're thinking
Yeah.
about doing it.
Yeah,
So that's important. So they get their boxes and they go prepared for making a dish. And the judges, again, this whole episode is like, show us who you are in your food, and your family's supposed to help you out by sending you ingredients of who you are in your food. I don't know what's going on with some other people, but Gabe is not playing around at all. Listen to this.
Gabe, what did you do?
My wife sent me a pork shoulder. She loves when I make cochinita pibil or carnitas. What I prepared is a traditional dish from the Yucatan called panuchos, where masa is fried raw. I filled it with braised pig skins, braised kale in a tomatillo and chile de árbol stew. For the pork shoulder, I braised it and then finished it on the grill.
Thank you so much, Gabe.
Thank you.
So different.
I think this is Gabe's best dish all season. I love that the kale has this like chewy pig skin that's been braised in this really spicy salsa.
Gabe really showed us where home is for him. I've been to Merida before. I've had panoches. This is an excellent one. You really get the char from the grill on that pork.
What Gabe did here, I think you don't see it happen too frequently, where you could take a dish that you find in the street and dress it up and not lose its soul.
Yeah.
He's cooking to win. Lights out. This is lights out.
So when you get reviews like that after serving a dish, it's basically you can, cut, wrap, and print this episode's over because you know who's going to win when the judges are all blown away at your cooking. So Gabe is here to win, and he's literally sending messages now that everyone else can pack their knives and go home because I'm not here to play around. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Dawn is still missing ingredients on her dishes, as some people don't get the gravy when she serves her dishes. Like, how are we still making the same mistake that she made from week one?
Do you guys think she did it on purpose this time because she thought it would be funny to not give it to Dale and Gail? Because she really wanted to hear someone say like, "Oh, who doesn't have gravy? Oh, Dale and Gail. They don't." Did you forget to give gravy to Dale and Gail? And is there any particular reason that it's just Dale and Gail that you didn't give them the gravy to? Because Dawn was like, "Oh no, I thought I did. That's weird." And they're like, "No, Dale and Gail didn't get the gravy."
Yeah, Dale and Gail didn't get to inhale any of the gravy,
which we know Dale would have. He loves. Yeah, Dale wants more than one serving of food. And listen, Dawn's food, Gabe's food looked amazing. Dawn's food looked amazing too. Both of those I would have destroyed. But Dale would have wanted two, and he barely even got one.
Yeah, I did like in the one episode a few episodes back where he asked for more of that dessert that Dawn made. Mm-hmm. And I do appreciate Dale for showing up in linen pajamas every episode to lick plates and bowls and smell food like an animal.
I like it. He represents the people. I like Dale.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a chef thing, and I'm just not hip to it. But I've never been in a fancy restaurant and they put the plate in front of me and I just stick my face in it. My nose works, so I can just smell it from a seated position. But
so Jeff has ripped the Band-Aid off, so I'll go ahead and say it. Dale is kind of a COVID monster. He's kind of really just sunk into full life in the bubble. He's not caring at all. He's just letting it all hang loose, literally. So he's got no manners at the table. Like Jeff said, he's licking plates. He's demanding seconds. I mean, he's kind of a nuisance. He's the Dennis Rodman of this season.
After the couple of glasses of wine, he's screaming out about pandemics.
Yeah.
And refusing to wear a mask.
He was doing that. That was a lot of B-roll that they had to cut out of an episode when he said, "It's all conspiracy." So let's talk about Maria is the only contestant left in the fantasy league who doesn't have at least 20 points left. And when I noticed that, I was like, that's not good. Because ironically enough, following the fantasy league, the chart, it's kind of been the person who's had the least points has been going home the following week.
Mhm.
And this week it was, I mean, it's going to be Maria, obviously, but we're going to get to that. But I noticed she's like far behind everyone else who is still in the show. And so there is a disparity there. When they get to judges table, Tom grills Dawn on making mental error mistakes still. And I'm now thinking that might be some foreshadowing for what's to come.
Mhm.
And then can we talk about something, this new thing that they've been doing this season where it's like you're grilled at the same time in front of the judges?
Oh yeah,
in front of everyone.
I kind of enjoy that.
I enjoy it too, but I
Yeah.
know that just based on how this episode went, as Reeve said, they're so emotionally weak as people that they can't handle being grilled like this week in and week out in front of their own chef testants, because it is emotionally draining for them and anxiety inducing and panic inducing. Whereas I enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it makes them stronger.
You know what I think they should have for a future season is a challenge where they're not only being grilled by the other Top Chef All-Stars and the judges. They should do an entire challenge where the judges are just, for lack of a better word, like uncouth, taste-budded Americans who have to eat their cooking so they can get people who are like, what's this? Oh, pureed mushrooms? No, I don't eat that shit. What else you got?
I would love
That would be so cool. We watched the second season. It was either the second or first season. There was like one of the final challenges. Something similar like that happened where they had to like cook for people that were in a casino, and it was like people were cooking like kind of. I think it was the first season, like some Tiffany was in it. I don't remember which one it was, but
yeah,
like,
it was the first season.
It was the first one, yeah. And they were cooking some like she was cooking some really nice stuff, and then like Harold did like a chicken wing, and they were like, "We love these chicken wings."
Yeah, like no one wants to eat fried flowers, you know. Like
Harold could connect with the common person, whereas Tiffany was trying to do too high end stuff, and it was just not hitting at all with any of the people at the casino or any of the performers that they were cooking for. Maria has a cooking 101 moment. Let's listen.
The problem for me is that very watery salad that was not seasoned or dressed.
The bean sprouts, they were water.
Did you have to use it though?
My wife put them there for a reason.
You put those bean sprouts in because you had an emotional attachment to them.
Yeah, no, it's cooking 101.
Yeah.
Emotionally weak.
Yeah.
Like my wife put in bean sprouts, and now I'm going to see her tomorrow.
And I chose to use them.
Yeah.
It's cooking
like
101.
Gail said, it's cooking 101.
You can't water your salad. You water the salad before you put it on the plate when it's a plant. When it's in the ground, you water it. When it's out of the ground, you stop watering it. That's cooking 101 and gardening 101.
Season it. Yeah, you season it when you take it out of the ground. You water it when it's in the ground. And that's cooking 101 for any food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't season it while it's in the ground. I'm tired of walking by. I'm so tired of walking by like open air chicken farms, and they're like sprinkling Lowry's seasoned salt on the chicken.
Yeah, it's too early, man.
It's way too early.
You're
The
wasting
seasoning,
it.
they're just dusting themselves off. They're giving themselves a dust bath.
Yeah.
It's way too early.
Is it not manifesting? Like,
I mean, the chicken tastes great, but
Yeah.
it's still too early. Like, because you're losing 90% of that salt when you're taking feathers off. So it's like,
yeah,
I
it's
want,
true.
I want my salt sticking to the skin. You know?
Yeah, not the feathers.
Not the feathers, because I'm not eating feathers. You don't want to eat feathers, trust me.
Yeah, you
I've
don't.
been there. That makes for a weird poop.
What if
You
you do
don't.
what if you did like their soft shell crab? What if you did that, but like with a chicken, and you just like dump the whole chicken in the fryer?
Yeah. Everyone gets on a boat. You lay out some newspaper, and some like ship captain comes in with a huge bucket and pours it on your table.
And he's got like cut up corn on the cob there as well.
Yeah.
And then what's great is after you like devour the carcasses, you just put a big pile up, you take a photo of it, and you share it with all your friends, because that's what people want to see. A
Yes.
pile of eaten carcass and and grease and shit all over the paper.
That's what
That's
I
what
do.
we want to see.
Yeah.
We love those photos. So thank you. Keep those coming. So let's talk about this elimination. Maria is eliminated, but they kind of almost couldn't eliminate her because of what happened between her and Jamie. So let's take a listen.
That'll be enough, and along the way, you just get tested in ways that you never thought you'd get tested. Eventually, you find out what makes you cook, why you cook, but unfortunately, today, one of you just kind of hit the wall.
Maria, please pack your knives and go.
I think she has more to give.
No. Don't start. Don't.
She has more to give. I think she should stay.
Don't, Jamie.
No.
No.
She definitely deserves a second chance.
I'm gonna walk away if you.
You're not. Listen to me. You have a lot to give. I'm not kidding you. I had the second chance. I won for myself. I've grown so much in this competition that you guys don't even know. I couldn't even talk to you in the beginning. Give her a second chance.
Please don't let her do that.
She needs it for her confidence. I got that confidence. You deserve this. She deserves this. Take the second chance.
Jamie, are you saying you want to quit?
I want to give her that second opportunity that you guys gave me.
But do you want to quit?
No, I don't want to quit, but I would quit for her.
Please don't. I appreciate you, sweetheart, and I will not allow it. You have a lot to give too. This sounds like a Mexican novela. Like a. Oh my God, seriously.
I think it's really beautiful, the friendship that's clearly deepened. This is unfortunately what the game is.
And I am in love with the game. What Gail, Tom Colicchio, and Padma taught me, a girl from Sonora.
We didn't teach you anything. You taught yourself it. That girl from Sonora has a lot of talent, and you're going to do just well. Jamie, you're going to really not like yourself if you walk out of here right now.
Please, let me pack my knives with grace, okay? I love you. Guys, it's an honor.
The honor was ours, Maria.
Dios los bendiga. Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God. I want you to stay.
I know. Love you guys. One for you.
You leave?
Yeah. I am leaving. This asshole tried to quit on me.
When I first put that Top Chef coat on, Maria Maison was this restaurant owner from Tucson, Arizona, scared out of her mind, doubting every single step of her way.
You have the kindest soul.
I am a chef, and I am a top 5 chef from Top Chef Portland season 18.
Okay. That was a very straightforward elimination.
Yeah.
Nothing big happened.
Pretty standard. Just saying bye. People knew it was going to go home. People kind of accepted it. Easy peasy.
Jeff, what'd you think of it?
All I had to say was Gordon Ramsay would never. That's not happening on one of his shows. But again, this comes back to why are we gonna, the actual just cutthroat viciousness of this season of Top Chef. This didn't seem like it was supposed to be the episode where they send somebody home, and they did, and that's why you had this kind of mess at the end.
And yeah, I mean, they really put him through an emotional roller coaster, and then at the end, they still sent someone home.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think at this point in time, Tom's like, look, there's no Last Chance Kitchen. I need to get people off this show.
Yeah. Could you imagine how fed up he was watching that? He probably in the middle of it was just like, hold on. And he turned to the producer. She's like, I did eliminate someone, right? You guys heard it? Everyone here heard it, right? So it's done. So I don't know what this is.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what's going on right now. I'm completely lost. Am I the only one who's lost here? Okay. People didn't get my joke before. I'm eliminating people and they won't leave. Okay.
It should have actually been, since it was, filmed during COVID, and they were probably having their episodes cut short by the producers. I'm pretty sure that Tom actually just wanted to send them both home at once.
Yeah, I think he did.
But he just didn't. He got so confused at the end. It turned into what it was.
How crazy would it have been if Jamie said, "You know what? I am willing to quit for her," and Tom said, "Fine, both of you can go home. Get the fuck out of here."
He's like, "What do I care? No one came back from Last Chance Kitchen anyway.
We voted for her to leave, not you, and you're quitting. So I don't want to quit her on my show. So now you're both gone."
Yeah.
This was scary for me because Jamie is the person I picked to win the whole thing, and I was like, please don't quit.
Oh yeah, you would have lost your fantasy.
I did think about that.
So I only have Jamie and
Jamal would have hated this. Yeah, that close.
So I have Jamie and Gabe left on my team, and with Gabe's performance this week, I am still in the lead with 81 points, and Reeves is still a game. He's at 78.5 points.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
we are very close. Brian is still very far behind us with 35 points.
Yeah.
Like, does he watch the show?
Yeah. Does he even watch the show?
Does he even watch the show?
So real quick check in. Jamal, I know you have picked Jamie as a winner. I don't have Gabe on my team, but I have picked him. I think he's going to win. Jeff, do you have someone that you think that's left is going to be the Top Chef winner?
I'm thinking at this point it's going to be between...
Wait. Before you say that, let me tell you their point totals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a Moneyball situation going on.
This might influence. Gabe has the most points with 28.5 points so far in the show. And then comes Dawn with 25.5. And then comes Shota with 24.5. Then comes Jamie with 22.
Yeah. That kind of shakes out how I see it too. I have Gabe as the front runner, with Dawn potentially being the other front runner if she beats Gabe. I feel like Shota's dope, but he doesn't seem to be able to make spicy food, which seems to it's going to be a big problem if you're a chef.
Yeah.
And the other lady just talks weird, so I'm kind of like I just took her out the running, even though her food is probably pretty good. My question is, I've missed some exposition on the show, and it doesn't matter to the quality of the cooking, but is Gabe actually a actual Latin person? Because he looks, I just thought he was like a white dude who was just hella into Latin food.
You get that sometimes on Top Chef, so I can understand the confusion, but yes, he is.
His last name is Irales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh, this is a white dude, he knows some Spanish, that's why he's cool with Maria.
No.
But
full.
That makes even more sense to why he is just flying through this whole series, I feel like.
And Tom has given him a very good compliment on Tom likes the refined and technique and that kind of stuff. He likes those kinds of those chefs that can pull that stuff off and who are consistent, which Gabe is. And he also really likes it if you take risks on top of having all that, which is what he did this episode. So I feel like Tom already has him kind of in his line of this is a guy that I'm going to pull for.
And I think Tom's only ever talked to him once, given him notes once in the entire show, because Gabe has won the elimination, by my count, 3 or 4 times. He's got 3 or 4 times where he's scored 4 points or more, and you can only do that in this by winning the elimination challenge.
Can I make one last very brief sidebar?
Please.
To ask you guys where Chris was in your rankings and what you felt about the fact that he spent the entire season cooking shitty pasta over and over again with them. When he went home, I was like, this dude should have gone home 5 episodes ago.
Okay, yeah, this is a thing. Chris was on my team. I thought, when we did the whole preseason bit of reading the bios, I thought he actually had the chops to go very far in the show. He did make it to week 8, which is technically far, but farther than he should have made it.
It's white privilege.
And that's third Mike who said that. And now that he's ripped that Band-Aid off, I'll say it as well. Chris, that was white privilege that got you to week 8. That is noticing, I'm looking at this, there are 6 weeks where the only point Chris got was advancing an episode. That's the only thing that he had going for him. He had 1 week where he won the quickfire, but other than that, 3 weeks in a row where he only advanced an episode, and that's all he did. I thought he was going to be better, but it was by week 4, I was like, oh God, this guy's terrible. And he's the reason my girl Sarah went home, who was also on my team and was a high earner. And she went home, and then he had to face her in Last Chance Kitchen, and she was so happy to beat him because you're the reason I lost.
But also, at that point, is an easy win. I feel like I could have gotten through Last Chance Kitchen against him.
I feel like that too, but I also feel like all 3 of us and Chris could have been in a room, and Tom could have came in with pastaroni and said, "Make this," and Chris would have found a way to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you've been like, pasta again? Oh, my weakness, Chris.
Yeah.
It's boxed pasta.
It's so just follow the directions.
You can't.
He's like, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
you
I got
can't
it.
mess this up.
He doesn't.
He's like,
he doesn't cook it at
he's-
all. It's just completely uncooked pasta.
No, we're cooking the pasta from the box, and Chris is making his own pasta again. And Tom's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's in the box.
It's the cooking equivalent of that Amazon commercial with the guy ironing.
Yeah.
When the person dies and he just has to keep rewinding it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you finish your ironing and then go watch the show? All right.
Yeah.
You don't have to miss anything. All right, Jeff, let's do our final bit. It's called Add Foam, Debone, Send Home. This is where you pick from the three of us, even the guy who was apparently too busy in Hollywood to be here. Which one of us, between me, Reeves, and Brian, would you add foam to? Which one of us would you debone? And which one of us would you send home? And feel free to explain your answer.
What is add? You mean add foam?
Yes, add
Is that like
foam. Like
okay.
some
Like
of
when-
those fancy dishes where they add foam to the top of it, like a
Yeah.
bacon flavored foam.
And almost inevitably they go home because Tom is like, what is this shit?
Yeah, because Tom's like, if I wanted someone to spit on my food, I'd have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And I do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Raw would have said, you're 33 minutes late. No tip for you. Okay. If I'm adding foam to anyone, I would add foam to Reeves.
All right.
I don't have a reason.
That's okay. You don't need one.
If I were going to debone anyone, I would debone Jamal.
Okay.
I don't have a reason.
Okay. All right.
And I think the last one is if I'm going to send anyone home, it's going to be Brian because he's not here anyways.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, you know,
Thank you. Good.
ease,
And-
efficiency.
Yeah, so keep that in, Brian. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Jeff, and thank you for providing us with the amazing intro music for this podcast. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I don't have anything I'd like to plug, but I definitely appreciate you guys bringing me on. This has been the most fun I've ever had on a podcast, so I definitely appreciate it.
And if someone listening could put that in the review and give it 5 stars, that would be appreciated.
First person to give PodChef a 5-star review will earn a theme song for their podcast by Jeff Ray.
And you heard it here first, and that is a binding contract.
Deposits required up front.
Deposit is required up front. 5-month minimum of work time. Thank you for coming on, Jeff. That's it for us here. We're going to pack our knives and go.